treat. Smell my feet. Give me, what is it? Give me something good to eat, right?
Yeah.
If you don't, I don't care. I'll pull down your underwear. Welcome to the
Joystick
Joystick Show.
That's how we're starting?
Yes.
I love
it. Yeah.
I love that song.
I need to up the energy a little bit.
Yeah, you're like a 5
What's up, motherfucker? Welcome to the Joystick Show,
Good
episode
night,
110.
Ooh.
You didn't know I could flip that shit on a dime. Ready?
Nah.
Let's deflate a little bit.
55
Really
times 2,
cool if
baby.
you guys could like this episode of the Joystick Show. Go ahead and subscribe to your boys.
Oh,
And leave a comment, homies.
just a cursor.
It's just gonna be like a bipolar episode. Of like,
Just Bobby
episode's just
speeding
up and
through
down.
it.
yeah. No, I'll try to keep it consistenciones. Yeah, you know what? That was a really quick way to get through the YouTube mumbo jumbo.
Yeah,
you know, it's all the same
you sped
every
through that
single
shit.
week. You know, we're gonna tell you to do the same shit on practically every single video you see here on Joystick.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm Bobby. Let's all make titles for ourselves. Ready? I'm Bobby, the editor. Oh, who are you?
I'm Dylan, the creationist.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mhm.
I'm Joey, the edgy boy.
I like it.
I like that
And
one.
this is Jerry, the invisible man.
The invisible
The man behind the screen.
Yeah.
He's coding.
So if you're a creationist, what are like your views on evolution? If that's like your whole spiel. You
Yeah,
know?
so I believe that, the way that birds evolved,
Yeah,
humans will also evolve to have wings.
like finches, like that
Yes.
whole Darwin
Mhm.
shit. You know,
Interesting.
like
Yeah.
they have different ones to pick up food
We'll
and shit.
develop mating calls.
Let me stop before the world realizes I know nothing about biology.
Bobby's
Zelch.
like chromosomes. He's like
Powerhouse.
You're gonna use your whistle muscle.
No, Bobby knows about that mitochondria.
So
The
here's
nucleus of a cell.
Here's the spiel, right?
Yeah.
We usually start off this podcast by being like, what have you guys been up to? Da, 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 da. But if I'm being honest, I want to hear what my boy Dylan's been up to because I already know what my boy Dylan's has
Yes.
been up to. So
I'm
please-
interested in what
Yes,
Dylan's
I'm also
been
very
up to.
interested.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
I've been converted. No, so like
You need to say this all in the proper English term.
Oh yeah, just
yeah, no,
Dylan-
I realized that what's better is at one point, because I didn't have the enthusiasm the whole point, but at one point at like 4 p.m.
You joined.
I broke into like because like I don't have like a British accent, so I just did that instead of old English. I turned into like an English fellow.
okay.
I was like, hello, it's I turned into that. But
You're a fucking fairy, dude.
yeah. I was probably kept it together. No, so essentially for a few weeks we had a small group that essentially wanted to go to the Renaissance Fair. And when I say we wanted to go to the Renaissance Fair, I mean I was adjacent to people that wanted to go. And I was like, I love food. I love an excursion. Let's do it, right?
Love an
So,
experience.
we got upstate probably the quickest I've ever gotten upstate. Like,
Oh, nice.
It was like
That's
really
cool.
a very good drive, very quick. However, getting into the Renaissance Fair, the only way to get in is a 2-lane road, which then turns into a 1-lane road, which then goes into a parking lot, which then splits off into 3 ways.
It's like everything in upstate New Jersey. That's
That
Yeah.
So if that sounds bad, you might think, oh, so that sounds like a traffic jam waiting to happen. We were literally waiting in line to get into the parking lot for an hour.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's the best. I almost shit my pants. I did not.
Proud of you,
We
proud of you.
really made it. Quite the accomplishment on my end.
How many days has it been since he shit his pants? This is great.
We don't have to turn it back to 0.
No,
We're good.
no.
We're still
Yeah,
going
yeah.
strong.
check. But no. As soon as we got in, everyone's mood changed. Which we were talking to like the parking staff. Essentially, since it was the last week and it's part-time work, everyone was just like, "Oh fuck this!" And they didn't show up to the last day of work or 2 days of work. So they were literally short-staffed, 15 people. Essentially, at the beginning of the line, there was someone that was supposed to be like, "Hey, get single file because we're gonna have to go in single file,"
Okay.
and that didn't exist, and that's why the traffic jam happened. But yeah, I was very anti-Renaissance Fair for a very long time.
So what's the outlook looking like post Renaissance Fair?
At midway through, I realized that I just have to let myself have fun.
Yeah.
Because my first, obviously, going in, waiting in lines, not fun. And also, if you're going to be a dick, maybe being dressed in full garb doesn't make you look like the toughest guy.
Yeah.
If you're trying to, you're calling the worker at the Renaissance Fair a fucking cunt. and you're literally like a friar, you know, like a church thing. Like, bro, that's not holy at all.
Homie's got like the fucking St. Francis
Yeah.
cut with the bald spot.
Did
the
you
ring
really
of
see
hair.
that?
Yeah.
And he was really calling people cunts.
Yo, there was people like yelling out their windows, like angry.
Have
you know?
at thee.
Yeah, but they
What if
weren't.
it was part of the show? Like, what if it was part in character?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's that like in your car, you're in character, and then you see everyone angrily getting out of their cars and just whipping out bracers and shit, and just like angrily putting on armor.
Did you guys stay for the joust, or did you leave pre-joust?
We left like mid joust.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Joust.
we
I
saw
didn't
it.
even know there was jousting.
We saw it in the distance. Oh, so essentially, there's a bunch of shows that happen throughout the fair, and then they do like 3 showings.
Yeah.
So if you go early, if you go like midday, or you go late, you can see the same.
But the joust is like the
big event.
the main
the
event. Yeah.
halftime Super Bowl show of the
Yes.
Renaissance Fair.
So no, we didn't do the joust, sadly. But you know, we just wanted to buy shit. We wanted to eat some food, get drunk. By the way, get drunk or get high makes the run. You get into.
I fucking imagine.
can
I'd be
imagine.
huzzahing my ass for fucking 6 hours.
I'd be laughing with people.
The walk to the parking lot was just straight. It's not huzzah, it's zaza.
Zaza.
You know?
Yeah, I
It's
like it.
zaza.
I like
It's
it.
literally you're smelling that. But yeah, we watched. I forget the name of it, but it's like the Wet Wenches or something like that. And it's essentially
Where are we going here?
It's basically like a like not like a parlor show, but it's kind of like they pull up a wagon and it's like they pop out of the wagon. It's like one of these like traveling shows.
Okay.
But it's essentially 2 women that are like like the raunchiest you can be, but in the character of like Renaissance medieval times.
Okay.
And so it's like if you don't cheer loud enough, they like wet a rag and like smack you in the face with it.
Yeah.
And they basically just do a bunch of crowd work. It's all a bunch of sex jokes. That's what converted me, I think. Because early on I was like, this is kind of like lame. And then I saw that and I was like, these jokes suck. These jokes suck. Okay, this is amazing. Because they called
the process of like,
yes,
you're gonna laugh at this, or
no
we're
matter
smack you.
no matter what. And then it kept going. Then they call people up and make each person that volunteered makes them do an embarrassing thing in front of the audience, and you have to go along with it. And literally everyone went along. One guy had to put
This is bullying.
one no
describing.
literally one guy had to run into the one guy had to put on tighty whities over his jeans, go into the middle of the entire fair and do a whole like monologue thingy.
Amazing.
And then he did it and seductively took off the underwear.
Okay, like he was part of the joke.
And then the third guy who volunteered, hood black dude. And I was like, this is incredible. His wife or whatever was there. I was like, oh my God, like filming. And literally they were like, you have to, like there was like 2 of the woman, and it was like, you have to chase this woman around the stage as she's like making sex jokes, and like, you know, all of the guys that they're woman that's like, can I do this? But yeah, overall, I mean, you know, I'm converted.
Yeah.
I feel like
What
I'm.
was I gonna say? I've
really-
actually been to a Renaissance fair
Yes.
before when I was younger. I went on a group trip with it was me, my parents, my best friend, and our next door neighbors and their family.
Yes.
So we all went, same thing, upstate New York, big whole spiel. Don't ask me why. The only thing that genuinely stands out from my experience at that Renaissance fair is we went to a booth where there were these people
Okay.
who were tell me if this sounds familiar. They had these wooden balls in their hands, and they were doing all these illusions, making it look as if the ball was floating in their fingertips and moving it around their things. And they were like, oh, this is contact juggling, you see? Right? And they were promoting that with, what's that other shit? You ever seen like the Diablo yo-yo, which is like the 2 sticks and the
I've seen
string, the thing that
Yeah.
spins on it, right?
Yeah.
And my best friend was really into the contact juggling thing, so he like bought a ball and he was like practicing with it. Like 2 weeks later, Fushigi dropped. I was like, holy shit.
They
like,
knew about that.
Yeah, I was not
They knew
expecting
about-
that. And then I was that kid that when everybody was talking about Fushigi, I was like, that's actually contact juggling. And they're like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, okay.
Actually,
You tried to be the
contact-
cool guy. Well, actually, I did it first.
No, I went to the booth.
Yeah,
you know?
you saw it.
Went to the in the Renaissance. you
I
know?
saw when I was in the Renaissance.
Yeah.
You see, that's
I'm
how
a
you
time
started.
traveler.
And you know, you guys ready for this amazing segue? I gotta stop announcing the segues and just
It
let you
really
guys
takes away
be,
the steam
yeah.
of doing it well.
Speaking of people that dress up, Joey, what have you been up to, bud?
I actually wanted to say one thing about the Renaissance
Ah,
before you
fuck.
changed it.
Mm-hmm.
The only closest thing I got to doing anything Renaissance-like was I was supposed to go to the medieval times for my 8th grade trip.
Yes.
That was
I told Dylan
Yeah,
the story.
I heard the
2 nights
story. I
ago.
was dying.
Yeah, they really promoted that like we were gonna be ecstatic to go. I don't know, but we went to a school that was mostly like Hispanic Latino.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's it. You're not going to the medieval times trip.
And
we're all
then did we find out like they never went after that again?
they stopped that shit.
That was just their low-key way of telling us that we were like shitheads.
I
and
love
not
how
having
they
to
were
play.
like they tried to manipulate you when really it was just they didn't do it anymore.
Yeah. No, what was I gonna say? I told the best part of when I told Dylan that, just to bring people up to speed. Joey and my elementary school, grade school, our senior trip for 8th grade was that we would go to medieval times. And as soon as I said that to Dylan just like broke out laughing. And I was like, I know. Because like all these other fucking schools go to like Six Flags or like Dylan went to like Philly or something.
I had a guided tour in Philly, yeah.
You see, but we didn't even go. But
We
got
didn't
medieval
go.
times.
We were promised.
But yes, speaking of people who fucking dress up in things, my friend Joey, what did you do this weekend?
We could look at Dylan and poke fun at him all you want, but I do the same thing. It's just like video game
I didn't
characters.
even dress up.
Oh, you did it? You just
No,
went
like halvesies. I did.
okay.
I wear something like this, but more like
flowy.
more
Flowy,
like you know, old,
And boots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no boots. No,
the
but-
monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fedora.
But yeah, what my dressing up consists of like superhero characters and video game characters. I went to New York Comic Con 2022. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I went as Ash from Army of Darkness.
Gotta say, I think that was my favorite you've ever done.
It was very good. I
Yeah,
will say.
I
Very
think that
well
one was
done.
really
It was
cool
quite
too.
Nice.
And it wasn't that hard. My dad like made that chainsaw in like close to 2 weeks, and a little bit more of 2 weeks, but it was quick. He did that. He molded it, followed a YouTube tutorial because it was a guy that kind of showed his
Yeah.
way of doing it, and he was like, "I like that. I'm gonna put a spin to that and do
So-
something
Nice.
different."
So you know what? Before we get into,
But your dad's mad creative.
but this is what I want to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into.
yeah.
I was
Like
gonna
your
say,
family
I was
in
gonna say
general.
before we get into
Like, where'd this
Comic Con,
come
can we
from?
just talk about your like cosplay journey, more specifically you, Tati, and then of course your dad's kind of influence in this journey, because it's honestly very interesting. Take it from like everybody at this table.
Sorry.
Is that your ring?
Yeah, I
Lit.
play with it.
But anyway, what other things have you done? Hold on, let me see if I can remember.
Let's go.
Joey did Ash this year. That was your only one, right? Both days you went as
Yeah.
Ash. All right. There was one year you did double, right? That was the only year you did 2 costumes.
There was 1 year I did what?
2 costumes, right?
Yes,
you did
only 1 year.
Spider-Man and this guy Klaus, right?
Yep.
From fucking Umbrella Academy. That one was really good too, because you
Thank
look
you.
like him low key.
Mhm.
The Fallout. I think you did that twice, right? The Vault.
Mhm.
You did, because you did one with Tati, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, it's just low key, real throwback. Your first one. What was the Zelda guy?
Yep.
Yeah. Because
Twisty Journey.
and did your dad
Yeah.
make that for you?
He did. That was
Oh,
his
it's-
first time making a cosplay prop,
Mhm.
but I told him, I was like, I would love to cosplay, and my dad saw like what Comic-Con was, and he was like, this shit's lit. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And he always says, if I had to redo that costume, I'd do it so differently, and that shit would be moving by itself.
Yeah. What was the name of this
That'd
guy
be
too
cool.
from Watch Dogs 2? You with the LED glasses. I don't know.
Fucking
It was like
that
Wrench or
guy.
something like that. Anyway,
Some
fucking
wrench.
yeah, what's his name?
Yeah, it was a weird tool.
Fucking speaking of the character.
Fucking my guy Pliers.
That was a cool costume, but just the Ash one, everything about it like tied together perfectly. Like you shaved for it. The fucking costume is great. The blood was a great touch. The chainsaw looked fucking sick. The Necronomicon, like the
Yeah.
boomstick, every fucking piece.
It
Nailed
was dope. It
nailed
was really cool.
And that being said, your sister beat the shit out of you.
Holy yeah,
so.
my sister was Wanda from the newest Doctor Strange, because she turns evil. Spoilers if you're not into like the 13th Marvel movie by now.
Watch WandaVision eat too. Like she's
More like
also
30th.
evil there.
30. Yeah, there's more. You would know. There's more. But her idea was that she really loved Scarlet Witch's journey as a character, and she wanted to be Scarlet Witch, but also wanted to put a spin, because she says, I saw someone like they photo edited the book, and she was like, I think there's a way we can actually make that. And she was like, wouldn't we use like fishing wire or something like? And my dad was like, yeah, let's
so
do
sick.
that. So she's not only Scarlet Witch, she has the Necronomicon, the Marvel's version of the Necronomicon,
There it is.
and she's floating it. And it legit, there are times like I'm standing right next to her and it looks like it's just floating because the fishing wire is so thin.
Yeah, fishing wire is crazy like
For sure.
that.
You can even tell from like the videos how many people around you guys are just like enamored with it, taking pictures and videos.
It was hard for her to move. We walked in and immediately everyone wanted to take pictures. And when one person started, another person came. And next thing you know, there's like legit photographers.
And she got featured on a pretty cool Instagram page, right?
If you go on the Marvel's official Instagram page, she's on the Instagram page as one of the people they shared as
like
best
Women
Marvel.
of Marvel or something like that. But it's the official
Both.
Women of Marvel.
No, Women
Really
of Women of Marvel and Marvel itself.
Fire.
So
fire.
even all the like misogynistic
Deservedly.
men are watching too. Like,
Yeah. She even she did like the photo dump. She took that picture with like Black Panther and Loki or whatever. Those costumes were fire too. Like they looked
those
straight out
aren't
the
costumes.
movie.
That's a statue.
Of course, I was like, "There's no
She
way."
literally, yeah, you're part of the
those
movie.
motherfuckers came out with
honestly,
the fucking costume.
everyone
department.
vote press 2 in the comments if you want to make Tati the next Scarlet Witch.
Press 2.
We can do it.
We can make it happen.
Vote.
We'll do it.
Vote
We are-
now.
All I'm hearing is we have an in at Marvel now.
Yeah.
Fucking Tati just has to dress up every time like that, and then Marvel's like, "Hey, can we talk to you?"
come here. And all she says, my costume, her costume, she actually got it from this Italian designer. She dropped her own money, and I was like, oh shit. Like she's never bought a costume. We normally made it.
Shit.
But now she's making teacher money.
Teacher money.
And she's just like, bah, I'm putting it on like this.
Damn.
The costume was nice, and a lot of other women were dressed as Scarlet Witch, but they didn't have that book. So
Yeah.
immediately everyone's eyes go. There were people. It's funny because I was in the back, so I'm walking. Tatiana's in the front, then it's my dad, and then it's me. And I'm walking, and I'm getting everyone's double takes of them just going like,
Book. Floating book.
Like it was funny to hear like people walking by and be like, "Yo, you saw that shit?" Yo, and then the voice echoes
Yeah.
and fades away as you keep walking. Like
That's
it's
dope.
funny,
Amazing.
but she killed it, man.
yeah, that's fire.
Definitely beats me getting featured by BuzzFeed. Definitely fucking way
yeah.
better.
What was I gonna say though? Real quick, huge shout outs to your dad though, because
Oh, yeah, man.
he's definitely the one that puts like the.
The man behind.
He
He's
puts
crafting.
honestly like it might sound stupid or it might sound ridiculous, but he does put the magic in those costumes. Like
Mhm.
it's really true.
He low
like,
key made a second Instagram to dedicate it to cosplay.
yeah,
and
as
then
he should. He's
it
great.
fe-
at it.
then it fell off. He really says it. He goes, if I hit lotto and I had to not care about money anymore, he says I'd buy a whole shed full of tools
and equipment
and like tables, separate tables. That's the cutting table. That's the molding table.
Yeah.
That's it. And he says I would
he'd
have
be
that.
a maker.
He says no. He says if I could get paid building cosplay for
Yeah,
people, he'll
fuck
do
yeah.
it.
He probably could, Joe.
Dylan, you want to cosplay?
I mean, you're
I
asking-
would have to pay him too.
Yeah.
You know.
Not only you ask if Dylan wants to cosplay, you're trying to get him to pay money to cosplay.
But it's gonna be
I
dope.
got-
You
I
should
got-
ask
I got-
you to be anything.
You should start with Jose. See, that's somebody
Yeah.
who'll be like,
Right.
yes, of course.
Jose
I
would
want to do
definitely
that
come to
right
Comic-Con.
now.
Jose
Yeah.
would be like, I want to go as my favorite anime character. I want to go as Naruto.
That reminds me at the Renaissance Fair, I kept seeing furries and I kept taking photos of them and sending them to Jose. And I was like, bro, your friends are here, bro. Where are you?
What are furries doing at the Renaissance?
No, I don't know. They showed up though.
They just go wherever people are allowed to wear costumes.
It's
I'm
a
convinced.
costume. Let's go.
Word. At Comic-Con, there's furries.
Yeah.
At like MonsterCon, there were furries.
Fucking video game tournaments. You'd be surprised.
Oh,
There
shit.
are furries there too.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm coming out. I'm gonna wear this.
I
I'm
want the
coming
world
out.
to
No,
know.
I'm a furry.
I wanna fuck animals. Speaking of dressing up in the Renaissance,
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed recently.
Oh shit.
Are you dressing up like STO?
No, fuck that.
Leonardo da Vinci?
He's in that
I
game.
know. I
He's in
love
that.
him. He's like
I
my
didn't
favorite
even remember Machiavelli's in that
Yeah,
game.
everyone-
Those games are cool but stupid at the same
character.
time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, word. When you replay them now, you're like, what the fuck is
Alternate
this?
history is so cool though.
But
That's like
so
one of my favorite
stupid.
things.
Like
yeah.
I can't explain it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's here's the thing, right? With that alternate history shit, it's like how far you diverge it, right? I think it's always cool when you have like things like media that's like, oh, what if the atomic bomb never hit?
Yeah.
and
What
shit
if the
like that,
Civil
right?
War?
Those
had-
are always cool to think about.
But this is literally
Yeah.
like, what if every figurehead that's ever been in power was secretly part of one of two crazy groups that's been trying to kill each other, and they've been housing this apple of Eden from like the BC
Yeah.
era?
And now we're
It's
in
like,
the future, but we're traveling to the past through a machine.
It's like, all right, it's a little bit too much
what if
here, but also the game
Thomas
is like
Edison.
very edgy just for the sake of being edgy. Like, it's been a while since I assume anybody.
Wait, it's edgy?
It's super.
It's
edgy.
super edgy.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
So one thing I didn't remember is the voice cast. It's obviously when I was a little kid, you don't really care.
Yeah.
First of all, it's another thing I should mention. The last time I played Assassin's Creed 2 was in 2008 when it came out.
So
Yeah, we're-
that whole
little
series was
long
like
time
I was
ago,
like
buddy.
12 years old. Yeah, super young. But like playing it now as an adult, voice cast is super strong. Nolan North is Desmond.
Oh shit.
The chick is this Kristen Bell, so like an actual actress.
That's an actress, yeah.
Then there's like this nerdy guy who's like also a dickhead. He's played by this guy Steven Merchant.
Yes.
You know, fucking this guy from Portal, Wheatley. That.
Oh, him.
Yeah, so like a really strong cast, but like there's this whole like scene in the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2 where like Kristen Bell's character and Desmond Nolan North's character are like running out of Abstergo, which is like the facility that he's being kept in. And then like twice in a row, Kristen Bell's character like tells him to like shut the fuck up. But it's like it's so out of place that you're like, they just literally threw that in there to curse it. Like, we got a mature rating. And then there's like 8 scenes like that in the rest of the game. It's kind of like, it's just weird. Like,
weirdly enough, I remember hating those scenes, and I think that's why.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
funny.
because it's like the game, I don't really give a fuck about the concept, and they kind of knew that. They're like, we don't care about how you got to the past.
Yeah.
We
just like, we're just gonna get back to the past.
We wanted to make a game that like you were this guy in the past that met all these historical figures.
They had to create a whole subplot.
Yeah.
As well as the plot.
It has to be all
like, we're not doing
dystopian
that.
for no fucking reason.
Yeah. And fucking... Oh, yeah, that's like another thing. There's like this whole overarching plot where like the sun is going to explode. And
Yeah,
like,
I never got that
and
either.
like, keep in mind, I never got it either, but apparently Ezio, from the main character, gets warned at like the end of Assassin's Creed 2, and he's like, oh, ho, 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 but that's like hundreds of years from now. We don't have to worry about that.
Oh,
and then
that's
fucking
so
the people in 2012 are like, okay, we got to go back to ancient Italy and fucking
we
figure
gotta go
this
back
shit
and
out.
figure
So
that out.
fucking funny.
So that's
bro.
like the story of the game, essentially. It's like, keep Ezio alive and let's find out what he fucking knows.
And find out what he knows. Yeah,
But-
Ezio was the one that basically got an information from an alien.
Yeah,
and
but-
then they were like, it's him.
What's also cool is
fuck this game, bro.
no.
Italian.
What's also cool is I'm playing it in the Ezio collection.
Yeah.
So I've never Assassin's Creed 2 is the only Assassin's Creed game I ever played.
You never played 3?
Never played 3.
Can I
I know
spoil it?
everybody was great in it. Don't, because I'm probably gonna end up playing it. But the point is, that was the only one I ever played. I never even knew that like Ezio's stories continued.
It was
like,
Brotherhood and
like Brotherhood is a
Revelations.
whole ass sequel to
Yeah.
Assassin's
You
Creed
never played
2.
Brotherhood?
Never
Brotherhood's
played it.
good.
I played Brotherhood.
So
That
it
was
picks
good.
up
I
like
played
right where
Brotherhood
it
a
is.
lot.
It's a lot better than 2. It's
Yeah.
smaller and shorter, but I low key like that because
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed 2 was a little overwhelming. But I'm like slowly but surely becoming a fan of the series. Like
It's good.
the gameplay aspect is obviously really, really fun, but I also know that as the series progresses, they just get better and better, especially like story wise. Like everybody says Assassin's Creed 3 is incredible.
Yeah.
Black Flag. I
Black
don't know
F-
if the story was good, but everybody says the gameplay was
Black
solid.
Flag gives like Wind Waker sailing vibes,
Yeah.
and I really like that. Like it's like there's ship battles. There's just times where you're just vibing.
Yeah.
I
It's,
feel like everyone was very desperate for a good pirate game. Like Disney
Yeah.
wasn't capitalizing on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sea of Thieves had a
But
bunch
you know
of
what's
glitches.
funny about that? KH did it. Like KH put in the Caribbean world, like Pirates Kingdom Hearts did the Caribbean world, and like you fucking the whole section of the world is you go on the pirate ship and you travel to different islands and shit like that. So
You're
it's like,
fighting on the ship.
it's like they
you're
made a whole
fighting-
sub game in Kingdom Hearts because
Yeah.
it doesn't play like any of the other worlds. Same
Dope.
Wind Waker vibe, which I'm not crazy about. It's
No,
too much
but
sailing for my liking.
I like
Black Flag's
sailing.
good.
It's like that Sly 3 world, the pirate world. Remember where you're just fucking sailing that ship on the map?
Oh, that was a stupid world.
Sorry to tangent into dumbass sailing games.
Hey,
but
remember this game?
Oh, but yeah, Assassin's Creed.
No, yeah, but it's fun because I'm getting into all of them. They even said that. Well, I heard that the newest one, Valhalla, didn't do too well.
No.
But interestingly enough, the Egyptian one, Origins, like I heard that one got like 9 out of 10s on like IGN.
Nice.
And funny enough, that's the one that's not free on PSN. Even
They
Valhalla's free. Fucking,
They know.
So I'm gonna play as many of them as I can, and the new one, like everybody's been asking for feudal Japan since the game came out. I mean, the game.
I don't know why it took so long.
The game's about a fucking nimble thief-like character.
I
Why
think
hasn't
they-
he been a ninja
yeah.
yet?
I think they even did one where he was in like China and it wasn't Japan. Like it was like a side.
it was like a PSP game, right?
yeah. And then there was,
that kind of rings a bell.
Mhm, and then
That
there was
kinda-
others that were like they were kind of like DLC, like they were standalone, and they were like the Assassin's Creed Chronicles or something like that, and it was like
Yo,
sub games.
you're bringing up a memory. I kind of remember seeing ads for that. This
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Chronicles, and they were just like games that look nothing like
You know what I'm starting to put together, Joey?
what.
The Assassin's Creed series is really just like an adult, worse written Sly Cooper game. Like it's literally about
You're
like
a thief, guys.
you're a thief guy, but like you learn abilities from other people throughout time, even to the point where in the last game you literally go through time to meet the ancestors who all do the exact same thing. And
Bro, this is Sly Cooper.
and Sly Cooper's a better written game than fucking Assassin's
It's
Creed.
a game about a cartoon.
It's just
Yeah,
not
the
about
cartoon
fucking
raccoon.
real things.
Are
kinda
the guys
funny.
at Ubisoft just like fucking winging it?
Yeah,
just going
It
on the
low-key
game.
feels like it.
They
I
just-
think
they kinda go
Ubisoft
on
is
the
a
game.
really good company, but for the Assassin's Creed series, like,
And to be
I'm not-
fair, it's hit or miss. Like they either really hit the nail or it just sucks. Like
I'm not gonna spoil 3 because you're potentially gonna play it. But after 3, I thought the story was done.
mm-hmm.
And it just kept going, and I was like, wait, how did it keep going? Like, the way 3 ends, how is there more story? And my friend told me, oh, they're just starting the story. They're not even, they dropped that fucking story about the world exploding and you're in the present trying to stop it. They dropped it, and now you're just a person, just a rando reliving your ancestors or something like that, or just reliving a ancestor of that bloodline.
Yeah, it's just the
Alright.
different.
But they dropped that
entirely.
whole story of like Desmond and everything. You're just
Yeah, no,
living
because that.
people's
I mean, I
lives.
figured. That doesn't spoil
I
it
actually
since
do
knew that.
remember that. That's what happened. Like when Black Flag like got announced at E3, everyone was like,
What?
didn't
How?
didn't it blow? Like didn't there was like didn't
Didn't that thing happen that caused this thing from
Isn't
like
it over? And here we are, like 9 Assassin's Creeds later.
It's kind of like any movie or TV show that concludes, and then they're like, but wait,
We got a reboot.
yeah.
reboot, restory? What if?
Yeah.
hmm
Oh, so I could divert this into something that has nothing to do with it.
No, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing
to do with
similar?
it. It's just something I have wanted to talk about. Dylan
What?
knows.
Oh yeah. Oh no, because it's like we never did what we did what we were doing. Bobby's been doing something.
It's not
Imagine-
important at all.
Imagine.
Like yeah, I've been playing Assassin's Creed and watching. Look,
Okay.
let me preface this.
You
Okay?
gonna tell me you're a brony?
No. I put this in the chat a
That's
few
us.
days ago, right? I said growing up is coming to the realization that Steve Harvey is one of the funniest people on the planet,
Mhm.
easily. And I've come to realize
What?
this as a very don't get me wrong, we've talked about Family Feud and his hosting duties and that, but I just submersed myself in everything this man has done, especially in his recent years, like at the fucking the Steve Harvey Show and Judge Harvey and all this incredible content that this man puts out on a fucking weekly basis at this point, right?
Uh-huh.
God, this man is so stupidly funny. He's just, and the best part about it is he's just himself.
Yeah,
and that's the
word, he's
best
just
part.
himself.
Like he doesn't try to be anything fucking else. Like you watch like honestly, whoever he is on those shows is who I expect him to be when I meet him in real life. Like I could be like, hey, my name's Bobby. Oh, what the fuck kind of name is Bobby? Like he just like rip into me and I'd be like,
just
yes,
like-
thank you. This is what I
Yeah.
needed. He just look at me with that, But
It would suck if he wasn't like that, and he was just like, "Hello."
Hello.
Yeah, right.
Oh
That's
my
weird.
God.
Why are you asking me that?
I feel like my world would fall apart if he's not as energetic as he is.
Well,
on
that's what happened with
TV.
Ellen. That's why people hated on Ellen, because people found out she was a bitch and like she had like a toxic
Her
work
whole,
culture.
her whole motto was like, "Be kind," and everyone was like, "This woman's a bitch."
Yeah,
Like, are you
fuck her.
kidding me?
But one thing that I was watching all the Steve Harvey content. I got into watching like since the show's been out for a while, they usually do like birthday celebrations for him, and they like surprise him with cool things. And I saw one from a couple years back where like the surprise they did for him was it was a video call from like his mom's house, like where he grew up in the city wherever he grew up. And it was the mayor, and he officially like named the street like Steve Harvey Street and like declared his birthday as like Steve Harvey Day in that city or something like that. So it was a pretty cool thing. He got
Crazy.
emotional and cried or whatever.
That's crazy.
And I've seen that one before, but I saw this one and I was low key like, damn, this is like, and this was definitely what the video I watched that I was like, I always knew I liked Steve Harvey, but I have like a way more like fond respect for him now, even just as a person. But they were like, oh, we have one surprise for you for his birthday. And he's like, I told you no surprises. And they're like, all right, here we go. And it's a video call, like live. And the guy comes up on the screen and it's this white dude. And it says like Orlando, Florida. And he's like, hey, Steve. And Steve is just like, oh, man. And he just like starts crying. Like he can't hold his emotions back. And he's like, my name is blah, blah, blah from Orlando, Florida. And I just got one question, Steve. Do you still love me, baby? And Steve is like crying. And Steve basically explains that when he was like 17 or like to 20 years old, something like that, he was trying to get a start in comedy. And he didn't really like have like a lot of money coming in. He had like a carpet cleaning business, and that couple gave him his first contract at like their furniture store. Not only that, they like when they found out that his dream was to pursue comedy, they like put him on their like travel agency, and he racked up like an $11,000 bill, like just trying to fly around to get it started. So they were like two of his biggest like startup
Helpers,
people,
Just supporters essentially.
and then like as the years went on and he got successful, he like completely lost contact with them, and he'd been trying to find them for a really long time. So they found him for him, and he just like broke down. He explains the whole story.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
And
deep,
even
man.
and he's even like, your girlfriend's here. He's like, is Becky there? And that's his wife, because that was like the joke, because she loves him too. And he was like, oh my god. And you can see they're so much older now or whatever. And my favorite part was he's like, oh, I've been meaning to find you. He goes, I got money now, buddy. I got money now. And the guy's like, you got money now, Steve? That's good. I'm glad.
Jeez.
I got money now,
But I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome, man. That's
Deep
so
shit.
sick. You never forget the ones that helped you at the beginning, right? That's why when I go
is that
solo,
gonna be you, Bobby?
Yeah.
I was about to say, is that gonna be you, Bobby?
I'll look back and be like, fuck Dylan and Joey.
Triple platinum Bobby with the sunglasses, just like, no.
I'm a musician.
Haven't heard that name anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm famous for. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Tony.
We got
What do
your
you want?
friends.
What award do you
Dylan and
want?
Joey.
Tony?
And
Like,
we're
what award?
"Hey."
The Tony, that's as far as it goes for me. I don't think I'm ever gonna get a Tony. Closest I get to coming to getting a Tony is like the Matt Trey Parker thing, where I just come up with an idea and I'm like, turn that into a musical.
You have a son named Tony.
Yeah,
This is my
that's
son.
That's your Tony.
That is my Tony.
I get an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and I have a kid just to call him Anthony for the sake of being an EGOT winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. This is a new life plan.
Yeah.
Bobby would be like, I made money, Dylan. I made money, Dylan.
I'm on a fucking Zoom call for some reason.
Dylan's like older in Orlando, Florida, even though we're the same age.
And we both live in New York still. We're in the same room.
I'm like 30, Dylan's like 60. He's like, do you still love me, baby? And I'm like, I've been looking for you, man.
That's funny.
Great.
You haven't aged. It's just shit went really bad for you in
Yeah.
like 2 years.
I'm sick wrinkled. I fell into acid. I'm just not doing well.
Oh God.
I put a horrific image in my
I see it too.
Just acidified Dylan.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
that was nice.
I was also gonna say before we came down here to record the podcast, we were watching a historic moment.
Very, very exciting time.
If I'm allowed to go into
No.
this, I'm not.
No.
you are.
I'm really mad Jerry's not here for this, but
It seems like a moment that, like, whenever we're watching what we're about to say, Jerry's there.
yeah,
So it was weird not having
right?
Jerisif de Jesus.
Jerry Orifice. Fucking no, we were watching a Melee tournament, a Super Smash Brothers Melee tournament. Pretty much after the pandemic happened back in like early 2020, the whole world shut down, but Melee specifically was not really active. Literally all the way up until this year in May. That was like the first time everybody got back together for a major.
Yes.
And since then, Melee's been popping off. We've had maybe like 6 or 7 majors since. But today we watched the Big House 10, which is a really, really big, important tournament for Melee.
It's the 10th one.
It's the 10th one. It's
That's
the longest running grassroots series that Melee's been putting on since like 2014, I think, like that. Maybe a little, or like 2012 or 2011 even, I think. But point is, for those 2 years, no tournaments went on, and now finally the Big House is back in action, and it was the biggest, most stacked tournament of all time.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
In terms of how many people that were there that could have walked away and won that tournament, it was ridiculous. Like probably 8 to 9 people could have won that tournament easily. And a lot of people made their case that they could have. It was crazy. Every single set from like top 48 onwards was incredible. Something historic happened. It was fun to watch. I could go on and on and on. But the ending. And I even told Dylan when he got there, I said, I don't care what happens. This tournament up until now has been incredible.
Yeah.
But the ending has to be
I showed up
amazing.
midway, and I was like, I even felt a little bad. But as we watched, it
So
was
let
like
me tell you a little bit about a man named Amsa,
my
okay.
hero.
Dylan's hero.
Yeah.
Amsa is a Japanese-born Melee player, Super Smash Brothers Melee. You'd think that there'd be more Japanese players since there's that whole stereotype that Japanese people play a lot of competitive video games, especially like fighting games, especially like Smash Bros. But interestingly enough, Melee is predominantly American.
Yes.
And that being said, Amsa is just about the only Japanese competitor who plays at the highest skill level.
Mm-hmm.
To put it into perspective, Amsa's been a top 10 player for like the past 4 years that he's been ranked. And he only comes to like 3 or 4 tournaments a year because he lives so far away. He just recently moved to Canada in the hopes that he can come to more stuff in the States or whatever. Despite his 10-year career, AMSA has never won a tournament, despite the fact that he's beaten dozens of huge top players.
Yeah.
And today, AMSA changed it. AMSA is the first Yoshi to ever win a Super Smash Bros. Melee Major over Mango. It was probably one of the most historic, emotional, not in the sense that I cried, but in the emotion that you know how much work and how much like time went into all of that. It was honestly one of the most gratifying moments I've ever seen in Melee. So satisfying. The crowd was ecstatic. It was honestly for the like Melee feels like it's back and it's better than ever. It's honestly crazy.
I would say almost in general, just like esports are really starting to like come into their own.
For sure.
And Melee's a part of that.
Maybe I was just looking into it because I wasn't like really ecstatic about his win. I was just more ecstatic that I got to see recorded. Was it live?
Yeah.
I got to see a live reaction of someone's work being paid off.
Absolutely.
You got to see that, like if you want to put the video game shit aside and everything, you got to see raw footage of a man finally complete something he
and that's
years
honestly
to.
That's
and the look on his face was like, oh.
But that's the reason mostly everybody plays and watches this game.
Yeah.
It has don't get me wrong, if the game sucked, nobody would play it, nobody cared about it. But weirdly enough, this fucking kids party game that came out in 2001 just so happened to accidentally be like the most fun, competitive, fast, technical fighting game there is. So much so that Nintendo hates us because we quote unquote broke the game that we never did anything to. But regardless from that, you know, it's still going strong. It's still one of the biggest fucking esports scenes there is. But to further that, we were talking earlier about how especially fighting games, it's not like you're a team. It's not like you're relying on other people. It's not like your team wins. It's you. So there's storylines, you know. There's rivalries. There's people who have been grinding this shit for years.
WWE
There's people like J-Mook who showed up to a fucking tournament in May this year and got ranked fucking third. And he's been second in like every major he attended except this one. And this kid came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Then you have people like Mango who's been in the game for fucking 15 years and almost won his 5th big house.
Bobby told me a stat the other day where Mango, the professional player, is the youngest person to ever win a major and the oldest person to ever win a major. He has both records because
he's the only one.
He won Pound 3 at 16 years old, and he recently won this past tournament. Was it Smash Con? I don't remember.
It was one of the last
few. 31, 32 years old.
That's
so.
crazy.
Yes,
he records it.
Yeah.
So and of course he's loving this.
And even AMSA, when he said he was doing the interview after the big win, he said that he picked up the game in 2002.
Yeah, these people.
There was no pro scene back then, but these people have been playing this game for 20 years.
And again, not to exaggerate it or to go too fully into the Melee tangent, like Jerry and I got into the scene in 2015 when the documentary dropped. And there's even a name for people like us. We're called doc kids. For people who came in that era when the Melee doc dropped, we saw it, we got into it, we saw the players and we're like, let's play the fucking game. And what's crazy is now even the doc kids like Zane and Cody, they're the top players now. Like they're in second, third ranked. So like it's like our generation has grown up, but where like the difference between when Jerry and I came in and were watching Melee to now, like without being too like without exaggerating, these motherfuckers are like flying across the stage at speeds. They look like instant transmission fucking Dragon Ball Z shit.
Yeah.
There's teching off of walls. You think somebody's dead and then they do like a double jump. Melee's so stupidly
it passes
insane
almost now. And this goes for a lot of
it's evolving. It's
evolved.
evolution.
It
Charles Darwin.
Stop.
Yeah.
We're back.
This reminds me, there's actually a YouTube channel that does this where they take esports, whether it be Melee or Rocket League or any type of game, and they do a year by year transition of how much better people get at the game. And you see
wild.
And way back when you see people, they're moving
You mentioned this in Rocket League recently, right?
So I was watching professional Rocket League from when the game first came out. These people fucking sucked.
Yeah.
You're like, who the fuck is this slow ass guy? Like imagine like you watched like competitive Melee back in the day and it was fast, but they weren't doing anything. They were playing the game.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, all right, these guys are doing shit I didn't even know you could do with a controller.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I find that really funny that like people have always been like gravitated to like, oh, this guy has the highest record or knows how to does this. But now because of like cameras and YouTube and everything, we're literally documenting like this is how good you can be at this game if you played 20 years. And this is how good you could be at this game if you played for 6 years. And it's like every game has its like, and you see it evolve like we've seen from when it's first started Melee competitive to now, like they're just zipping across the room. It's just going to get more wild. People are going to find more things. To the point that it's just going to be like
fucking shout outs to Amsa. Congratulations, buddy. Well deserved. And shout outs to Melee. You fucking sick game. Definitely not so secretly passionate about it. Been trying to convince Jerry to do like a fucking like inside the NBA little podcast with me in it, so we could just talk shit. I'm trying to be the Stephen A. Smith of Melee, you know, Dylan.
Yeah, oh my
That
god.
would be
Motherfucking Mango!
sick. That would be sick. I want to see
Me and Jerry could be the Charles Barkley.
Zane will never win a major.
Jerry and I could be the Charles Barkley and Shaq of Melee, dog.
I would love that. Why?
I'll be Shaq. I'll be Charles. I don't give a fuck. Why is it every time that Mango gets to the end of the
he loses.
and then fucking Jerry Shaq
It's about
to the back end. He get the rest. Fucking
That's funny.
Incredible, dude.
I have this question because I know Japan and like the guy that created the game. What was his name again?
Sakurai.
There we go. I was about to say the guy that created Mario.
Well, he didn't create Mario. He created Smash Bros.
The other guy.
No, the other guy, Shigeru Miyamoto.
That's Mario.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was thinking his name, but I was like, that's not right. Anyways, do you think he hates that Americans are like made this game so competitive when he was like, this is supposed to be a children's family friendly game and there's men like basically manhandling my creations?
Well, that was the story. Well, Sakurai is the guy who created all the Smash games.
Yes.
When he created Melee, his intention was for Melee just to be a family party game.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became what it
he
is
didn't
now.
yeah, I know
he
that.
didn't like it. They didn't support the scene, and honestly, that's why Ultimate exists. Like Ultimate is what he always intended the game to be. All these characters, everybody's for the most part balanced and floaty. There's not this crazy tech. It's not like somebody's gonna break the game, and even then, you know, like any game, people are gonna fucking
find
shit
a
out,
way to do something.
But that's why, because
the point.
he made that game to appease honestly himself, but obviously people like it.
That's crazy. But I thought, is there another reason why Americans like the Melee, specifically Melee? It's because it's like, oh, we got this guy angry. F him. Let's keep playing Melee.
It's
Or
not
like,
that.
No,
the game is sick.
well,
That's
I mean,
what-
there's no. Well, all the tournaments are here.
Even then, it's not
That's
even
true.
that. It's
So,
not like
yeah.
it's not like the Melee community hates Sakurai. They just they were like, screw it, we're just gonna do it our
Yeah.
ways. That's
Yeah,
why
we're
the
gonna do
Melee
it this
scene
way.
is known for being grassroots. Like they never got sponsorships. They
They
had to
never
collect
got
the
the
money
support.
themselves.
Like,
that's
for- yeah.
another thing. This is the 10th the 10th championship.
Of Big House,
this
yes.
tournament.
The 10th
series.
tournament, like it should have been like, I felt like it wasn't big enough. Like, I don't know. This could just be my fucking No, big as in like
No,
hype.
He
Thing as
means,
like confetti.
he means money. He means like amount of people there. That's what he means.
We never had that.
That's
We've never had
that's-
it.
Yeah,
that's
and
a
it's
shame,
weird,
but
'cause-
I would have done the effort.
Yeah, like
I
this
would
is
have been like, all right, that's all good.
my only comparable would be like Rocket League, the closest out. That's like my only real comparable here. The first tournament they ever had was sponsored by the creator Psyonix of the game.
Oh wow.
Melee never had that, so that's like another weird comparable.
Another
that
thing where
like
they're
League
like,
of
"We're proud of
Legends,
this."
yeah, like League of Legends or any other game, they get the support of the game
Of the game
immediately.
company, and they had like
yeah.
big things.
I'll put this into perspective. Melee got put into a year circuit called the Smash World Tour that was roped in with Ultimate last year, and that was the first time Nintendo has ever shown any type of support. To further that, during COVID, the Big House was going to do the Big House 10 online and be like, don't worry, we're still here. We're going to have this awesome online tournament with all these things. And Nintendo sent the Big House a cease and desist. And they were like, you're not allowed to stream our game. If you do, we'll sue you. And they had to cancel the entire tournament. And that's not the
And
first
that's what
time
this tournament
Nintendo's
was.
done that. Yeah.
Was a make up for
So they
that.
had to wait to do it in person because Nintendo.
Before Nintendo had to.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, like I said, fucking Melee's sick. It's awesome.
Yeah,
The
it's
last
cool.
thing I wanted to say before we go into Jam and Yam is that Overwatch 2 did come out. We did play it. As you can see, videos are still coming out on the channel, so we're alive.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, we haven't gotten to play together really.
Yeah,
so
and
when
I
that
that
haven't
happens-
played.
And I don't want to talk about it yet because honestly, the only person here who's probably played the most out of it, Jerry, is not here. He's
Yeah,
probably gonna have the most.
I did like I've played like.
No, you've
10
played a lot too.
I've played
but I
like
know
15
Jerry.
games.
I know Jerry's definitely played the most out of all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, Jerry's played the
I want
most.
his input, so we'll wait next week when he actually. Not that he's not coming like in 20 minutes, but fucking. But that's that.
Yeah.
You guys ready for Jam and Yam?
I think so.
Let's fucking get into it.
I think so. I gotta look up my thingy because I don't remember.
I have
think
a
I
lot of
know
potential
mine.
ones, but I
Me too.
think
I have
know.
I have like 20 something songs. To
I
be
think
honest.
I know which one I want. Let me just see the list real quick, and then I'll be able to like be like, yeah. Ah, man, this is tough for me.
Pretty.
This is really.
I've been
tough for me.
listening to a lot more. Songs.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna go first, okay? I had a lot of good songs that I could have picked from this week, and really quick, I'm just gonna give a shout out to a song called "Are You Sure" by Connor Maynard,
I
and
know that
Crisscross Amsterdam, but it's a remix. It's the Eden Price remix. Just a fun little dance song. And also Train Love by Your Old Droog. I played it for Dylan. It's kind of this cool rap song about falling in love on the train. But no, this week's jam is going to go to a little ditty called CrocBoys by Hi, I'm Chris and NothinButLag, a.k.a. Justin, acclaimed editor of Super Mega.
Okay.
For making a rap song about wearing Crocs and actually making it sound fucking way too good.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know, in typical those guys'
yeah.
fashion. So, to be fair, it's not affiliated with Super Mega. It's its own solo thing, but both of them are
funny.
very good, very funny. The beat is sick. The video's fire.
I want to see it. That
I'll
looks
show it to
funny.
you afterwards, but shout outs to CrocBoys. That's going to be my jam of the week.
Very cool. You want to go?
Sure. The song I'm choosing is called "So Contagious" by Acceptance. It's a good chill song, slow, very 90s or early 2000-esque. You'll probably heard it in a movie.
Fire.
Very cool. My yam is I believe the song is called Green Squirrel is in Pretty Bad Shape by Hot Mulligan, but the acoustic version, because that just dropped. Yeah, they just dropped a new like acoustic EP. This song is beautiful. Cool. The original kind of sucks in my opinion.
It's always like that.
But but the acoustic is just like beautiful. Where I'm on the train and I'm like I'm not crying, but I'm like, damn.
Like,
I really need to listen to
damn,
Hot Mulligan,
damn.
man.
Yeah, and like it almost sounds like not like elevator music, but like instead of like a guitar solo, it breaks into like a light like beep 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 like a piano, and I'm like, oh, like
Like, it would have been really funny if, like, after the Renaissance Fair, Dylan came back and he was like, my yam of the week is going to be Harpsichord Chamber Music 7.
By
The Skyrim soundtrack.
I picked the 38-minute pan flute solo,
Anyway, thanks for joining us here for episode 110 of the Joystick Show.
Damn.
We really
Second
made it.
week of spooky month. Sign's not even on. Jesus Christ. God. Anyways.
You want me to turn it on now?
Yeah,
No,
go.
yeah.
You know what? Just fucking hit the button off the side, and then I'll try this again one more time.
Go for it.
Even though it's not even visible on either camera, Yeah, just, there we go. Okay, ready? Let's try this one more again. Ready? Spooky month. Week 2. That's why the podcast looks all spooky dooky.
Correct.
It's gonna be a pretty fun month here. We got a lot of fun stuff that we have in the back burner recording. We had just an amazingly great day of filming The Chef's Son, where absolutely nothing went wrong at all.
Definitely not.
Nothing
at all.
Nothing. Definitely
Definitely
Wow.
won't have to
heavily edit, maybe even put music over the video.
something like that.
Yeah, do a little
mics
remix.
don't stay on. We'll figure it out. But definitely, I don't want to scrap it. I definitely want to get it out there. But a lot of cool stuff coming up. Don't worry. Just a lot of cool things in general here at Joystick. Up in the content. Just trying to up those views. And in that context, it'd be helpful if you could like this video. If you could
and talk about us with your friends.
Yeah, honestly, share us around.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking
Be
matter.
like,
It doesn't have
yo.
to be a podcast. Watch Medieval 1. Watch
You got
Medieval
that.
2.
You got that friend that likes Melee a little too much. Show him us.
Yeah, show him. I said,
See?
you want to show him Dylan saying something slightly racist? Show him.
Show him us.
Yeah.
You want to see
we're
this
here.
edgy guy?
You want to see Jerry vomit?
Yeah.
Show
Show
us.
us.
Yeah, we got a whole thing that we
Eclectic
do
cast.
here.
Yeah.
But regardless, from all of us here at Team Joystick, that's such a great sign off. We bid you a farewell, and